Hello and welcome to wenll's Guide to doing Spirit Kings in MSV normal as a hunter. So basically there's 4 different mini bosses that you'll be fighting one after the other for this, each one having their own abilities. This first guy, what he does is he casts Annihilate, and whenever he does that you just want to run through. You want to try and be stacked on top of the tank as much as possible for this encounter, or for this boss, but that's pretty much all there is to it. You're literally just stacking on top of the tank, moving wherever the tank moves for this first guy. You can see he also casts Flanking Order, or Flanking Order goes off rather, and all that is at one point of the room there will be a bunch of like 4 or 5 mobs that spawn, and they will walk forward to the opposite end of the room. So you just gotta look at where they spawn and make sure you're not in their path, kind of like a car. They will just keep moving and run over, doing massive damage to anyone in their path, so just make sure you don't get in their way. And those guys actually are throughout the entire fight. Once this first guy is dead, you'll have another one that spawns. This next guy, he's got a couple abilities. He does Pillage, which you don't really need to look out for. It's more of a melee ability. The other ability he does is he does Pinning Arrows. When he does that, you basically, to avoid it, try and make sure you're spread out at ranged, and you'll reduce the likelihood of yourself being caught in it with someone else. When he does do it, make sure you DPS whoever the arrow that pins whoever gets caught in it, because the other ability he casts is called Volley, and it's pretty much multi-shot. So he'll sit there and cast that 3 times in a single direction, and you just have to make sure you get out of that, which obviously if you're pinned with the arrow you can't, which is why you have to try and break whoever's in the arrow out ASAP. Pillage you don't have to look out for, so pretty much you're just looking out for the pinning arrow and volley, and of course the flanking stuff. And as far as I know, there's no way to avoid the actual pinning itself, like knowing who he's going to target. It just appears to be random. This next boss has a few abilities. Basically how it works is he's got an energy bar, and as it fills up, 50% of whatever his current energy bar is, if you have cowardice, 50% of his current energy bar is how much damage you'll deal to yourself. So if he has like an energy bar of 60, then you'll do 30% of the damage you deal to him back to yourself. And that's when he has cowardice. Every time his energy bar fills all the way up, he'll go between Craze and Cowardice. Craze you don't have to worry about. Cowardice, which is what he has right now, you do. That's the one where you're dealing damage to yourself. So when you're dealing damage to yourself, make sure you avoid doing a lot of damage, just kind of white damage. He also casts Maddening Shout. When he does that, you want to stack up. Y'all will get AoE down, and I think at around 50% or something like that, you'll get broken out of the Maddening Shout. And basically, you still have control of your character. It just makes it so that you're hostile to everyone else. So you just want to be stacked for Maddening Shout. And if you can, interrupt Crazy Thought whenever his focus bar is low, but not when it's high. For the next boss, what he does, try and interrupt the Shadow Blast he casts. And the other ability he casts is he will do a randomly cast like a ad. So what you want to do is you want to kite the ad out of the raid and then kill it once it's out of the raid, and it'll drop a little pool of the file which will slowly vanish. When it vanishes, the ad will respawn, at which point you kill it again, and then the ad will stop spawning after that. And then you'll cast it again eventually, but yeah. Also, throughout this fight, in addition to the flanking orders constantly going off, as you kill each boss, he'll retain like one or two of the, pretty much like one ability from each boss or each mini boss as you kill them. So he'll retain pillage. I think he does like, yeah, he does pillage. The ad. He'll summon the ads. And Madney Shout. So pillage and Madney Shout together is actually pretty bad. But yeah. So pretty much, as long as you avoid, for the most part, as long as you stack for Madney Shout and avoid the pinning arrows, or doing your best to avoid the pinning arrows, and avoid the flanking orders, you should be pretty much fine. And then just for that one guy, make sure that you're careful with your DPS whenever you have Cowardice currently up. So overall, it's not too difficult. Hopefully it won't be too difficult for you to get. So I hope this guy was helpful, and thanks for watching.
If Dub was here, he would put something like carry